Okay, so in this video I'm going to be running through my CLI application that will be scraping recipes from the website, and we'll give the user basically capabilities to interact with certain listed recipes and then get more information on it, like ingredients or directions on how to prepare the dish. So the website that I'm going to be scraping is Bon Appetit. They have a recipes page, and it's a really nice website because it's super well organized. Everything is made in cards, have a title, a description, and then a URL. So every week you'll have a list of the top 6 recipes, and that's what I'm going to be scraping. So how a user would use this would be basically to go to the GitHub repo for this and clone it first. So starting with an NTIDE session, brand new one, we'll start off with git clone, and then the URL for the repo, and that should download the project. And then I'm going to cd into it. And I guess I'll start off with the user who's actually downloading this and wants to get to know the code. So very briefly over here, I have a CLI controller, and this defines the user interface. And then the recipe class, which is responsible for instantiating recipes, as well as giving them attributes and such. And another important method here is the save method, which basically pushes each instance or each recipe object into a class variable, which is an array. And this is important because we need to iterate over this over the course of the app in order to print stuff out. And then start the show here is the recipe class. The scraper class. And the way I have it now is that I commented out how I previously had it, and that was saving it into hash, and I did it that way just to get the app sort of working in it so that I could code. Then I refactored it over here, and what this code does is that it automatically instantiates as opposed to moving it into a hash first and then instantiating recipe objects from that. So 2 basic scraper methods. There's a scrape VA recipes. This is a class method, and this scrapes the main recipe page. And then down here is the scrape recipe instructions, and what this does is that it goes to the individual URL for each recipe object, and then it'll scrape the ingredients as well as the directions on how to prepare the dish for each recipe. Code is over here, and I guess this isn't the video where I explain the code, but the CLI controller, very briefly, has a call method, which is what gets called in our recipes executable file over here, and it puts out a welcome message. Then it scrapes the main recipe page over here. It then goes on to scrape each individual recipe page. It lists them, and then it calls menu. And this is where a lot of the action for user interface is happening, actually. So in menu is where you'll receive user input. It's where you'll determine if the user input is correct or not. And then based on the user input, you'll then view ingredients or the directions. So my recipes app, recipes executable file, just has this one call method inside. And what's left here is the environment file, and this requires it's a single inheritance point for all my dependencies. Obviously, all my executable files start off with a shebang, which tells Bash basically to use Ruby to interpret any file that has this at the top. So stuff like my console and recipes will have it. And yeah, so I guess I can start showing you how the app works. So I'll start off. So the user would need to run file recipes. So once you run it, you get a welcome message. Either welcome to the recipe app, and then immediately it'll print out a list of the top 6 recipes for that week on Bon Appetit's website. So if we take a closer look at, say, the first recipe, it's it'll tell you the recipe name. So here we have a caramelized banana pudding. It gives you a short description, and it gives you the URL, which will take you to the main recipe page. At the end of this, you'll get a message that says if you'd like more information on a recipe, you type in the recipe number. To view the recipe list, type list or type exit. So just to see if everything's working, we can type list here, which gives you back the list again. We can type exit, which would take us out. Going back, let's select the recipe, because that's where we can see everything working. Okay, so it says here, you selected corn salsa. To view the ingredients, type ingredients, and to view the directions, type directions or type exit. So if we go ahead and type the ingredients, we should get back a list of ingredients, which we do. Very nice. If we type in the directions, it'll give you, a short not a short description, but the full description on how to execute the recipe. We can type in exit, and then it'll take us back to the main menu, where we can type in list again, select a different recipe, say number 6, and then once again we can then type in ingredients to get the ingredients, or directions to know how to prepare it. Hit exit, then exit again. We're out of the app. And that is basically it. Yep.